Let's take a second right now to have a moment of silence for Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson, who suggested that the WNBA as a whole should have been on the cover of Time magazine instead of just Caitlin Clark.
2 months ago, Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson downplayed Caitlin Clark's *Time Athlete of the Year award, arguing that the entire WNBA, not just one player, deserved the recognition. Now, a new revelation has sparked accusations of hypocrisy.
However, a lot of people are noticing the fact that we all remember Sheila Johnson, right? The Mystics owner that went on CNN that was none too pleased about Caitlin Clark having received the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. She made absurd comments.
But actions speak louder than words. Sheila Johnson just made an announcement about Indiana Fever games that has the basketball world buzzing. The same owner who downplayed Caitlin Clark's impact is now making business moves that say otherwise. The numbers behind her decision are eye-opening, and they tell a story Johnson isn't talking about. And let's not forget a certain award where she stayed noticeably silent. We've got all the details, so stick around. This is one you don't want to miss. Let's dive in.
Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover and said, the WNBA is the league of the year because of all the talent that...
Remember when a WNBA owner took a shot at the biggest sensation the league has seen in years? That's exactly what happened when Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson publicly criticized Caitlin Clark's *Time Athlete of the Year award during a CNN interview.
Taken the WNBA almost 28 years to get to the point where we are now. And this year, something clicked with the WNBA, and it's because of the draft of the players that came in. It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much talent out there that has been unrecognized. And I don't think we can just pin it on.
Let's break down what Sheila Johnson actually said because her words reveal something interesting. Johnson argued that instead of honoring Caitlin Clark individually, *Time* should have recognized the entire WNBA. Think about that for a second. An award meant for a single standout athlete should have been split among over 100 players? Her reasoning? She claimed that constantly highlighting just one player could create hard feelings. This raises a big question. Was Johnson genuinely concerned about team morale, or was there another motive behind her comments? But she didn't stop there. Johnson took it a step further, suggesting there was a racial aspect to Clark's recognition. I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color who are just as talented and never got the recognition they deserved, she said. With that statement, what started as a conversation about individual versus team recognition suddenly turned into something much more divisive.
There has been, this phrase has been couched, hasn't it? The Caitlin Clark effect. Why do you think that has been the case?
Well, I want to be very diplomatic about this. It's just the structure or the way media plays out race. I'm going to be very honest. I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented, and they never got the recognition that they should have. And I think right now, it is time for that.
What makes Johnson's criticism so puzzling is how it completely overlooks the undeniable impact Caitlin Clark has had on the league. The numbers speak for themselves, and they're impossible to ignore. When Clark's Indiana Fever played against Johnson's own team, the Washington Mystics, attendance averaged around 20,000 fans. But when other teams came to town, the Mystics struggled to draw even 5,000. That's not just a small boost, it's a massive shift in fan engagement.
Caitlin has brought a ton of new opportunity, a ton of new eyeballs, and more money to the sport. So instead of downplaying the magnitude of who she is and what she's brought, enjoy the ride and take advantage of the...
Clark's impact goes way beyond just filling arenas. Her presence in the league led to a threefold increase in attendance for Fever games across the board. Jersey sales? They skyrocketed by an incredible 1,000% star. These aren't just impressive numbers, They are game-changing stats that prove how one player can elevate an entire league's visibility and financial success.
NBA ratings continue to drop over 30% as they try to figure out who is going to fill the shoes of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. The WNBA has a golden goose sitting in their league and it's gotten better, but has done everything to kind of discredit the momentum and eyeballs she's brought to this.
You know what's most telling about this whole situation? Caitlin Clark's response. Instead of clapping back or getting caught up in the drama, she took the high road. In her *Time* magazine interview, Clark emphasized mutual respect among players and shut down any talk of jealousy in the league. No defensiveness. No counterattacks. Just quiet confidence in her own journey.
Someone who has, if you look at it, done everything you're supposed to do and has been criticized along every step of the way. Again, she's damned if she does, and she's damned if she doesn't.
The contrast between Johnson's remarks and Clark's response says it all. One tried to downplay an individual achievement and frame it as a problem. The other showed grace under pressure, refusing to be dragged into unnecessary division. So, was Johnson's criticism truly about team unity and fair recognition? Or was it the first glimpse of a pattern, one that would become harder to ignore as time went on?
I mean, honestly, we know how this owner feels about Caitlin Clark. Let us not forget this.
That pattern? It became crystal clear when *Time* honored AJA Wilson as one of its Women of the Year. Suddenly, Johnson's passionate stance about recognizing the entire WNBA vanished, quicker than playoff tickets at Capital One Arena. Where was all that concern about hard feelings now that Caitlin Clark wasn't the one in the spotlight? Wilson's well-deserved recognition put her in the exact same position Clark had been in just months earlier, an individual player being celebrated for her achievements. It was the perfect moment for Sheila Johnson to stand by her so-called principles about team recognition over individual accolades. But this time, silence.
Time magazine backed themselves into a confusing corner with their latest blunder. This is a Whiskey Riff right here. When they crowned their Athlete of the Year last year, they did the right thing by giving the title to Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. Surprisingly, there was some backlash to the decision, which is absurd, with many in the WNBA saying the award should have been given to the entire league instead of just...
Except this time, Johnson didn't say a word. No CNN interview. No passionate plea for *Time* to recognize the entire WNBA instead of just AJA Wilson. Nothing. The silence from the Mystics owner spoke louder than any statement. So what happened to all those concerns about hard feelings when one player gets singled out? Turns out, they either had an expiration date, or maybe they were never genuine in the first place. Wilson's award was the exact scenario Johnson claimed was a problem with Clark. Yet suddenly, those so-called principles disappeared overnight.
Owner went on CNN and was like, I think it would have been nice if they'd have put the entire league on the front cover of Time magazine as Athlete of the Year. Well, there wasn't but one athlete that was moving all the numbers. All right, that was influencing all the money. Gate revenue, attendance, ratings, all the stuff we've talked about. Right? There's only one. Right, wrong, or indifferent, just one. Plays in Indiana, wears 22.
This glaring inconsistency didn't go unnoticed. WNBA player Lexi Brown openly called out the double standard, posting, "Can we please stop taking steps backwards?" Her frustration echoed what many around the league were thinking. If Johnson's concern was really about fairness and team unity, why did it only apply when Caitlin Clark was in the spotlight? Unlike Johnson's earlier claims that individual recognition could cause resentment, Wilson's achievement was widely celebrated by players across the league. There was no backlash, no division, just support. The contrast is hard to ignore. Johnson had the perfect opportunity to show consistency in her stance, to once again argue that individual awards take away from the collective. But this time, she stayed silent. That silence makes one thing clear: her initial outrage wasn't about team unity. It was about who was getting the recognition.